Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about Egypt and its bordering countries. Egypt and its bordering countries, because of Egypt was in news because of his president. He is president of Egypt. His name is Abdel Fattah al Sisi. Abdel Fattah al Sisi. His name is Abdel Fattah al Sisi. And why he was in news? Because in India he is going to be the next chief guest on the eve of Republic Day on 26 January 2023. 2023 recently upcoming Republic Day or 26 January, he will be the chief guest. That's why Egypt became very important. Now we are going to discuss about the bordering countries of Egypt and a few physical features of Egypt. This is Egypt. This is Egypt in African continent. We can see here. This is African continent, and Egypt is exists basically northeastern part of African continent, and capital of Egypt is Cairo. Cairo is the capital of Egypt. It, Libya is making its western boundary. In western part of Egypt, Libya is making its boundary, and in southern part of its North Sudan is making its boundary, and in northern boundary of Egypt, Mediterranean Sea is making its boundary, which is its maritime boundary. Also, in you can see here in eastern part of Egypt, Red Sea is making its boundary. This is another map of Egypt. Here I will discuss the few physical features. Now let's discuss again the boundary. Here you can see here that in western boundary of Egypt, Libya is there, and in southern boundary Sudan is there, and in Mediterranean Sea is making its northern part of the Egypt, and this is a Red Sea which is making its eastern part of boundary, and this is capital of Egypt, which is Cairo. This is Cairo, and this is Suez Canal. Suez Canal is basically connecting Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea. This is connected by Suez Canal. Suez Canal is very important for the trade route between Asian continent and European continent. This is very important. In 2022 we have seen that there was a ship Evergreen named of the ship was is Evergreen, which is stuck in Suez Canal, that made chaos in the world. So that's why this was in news. So this Suez Canal is very important for trade route. This comes under Egyptian control, and this is Sinai Peninsula, which is also part of Egypt, and this is basically highland of Egypt, and this makes also mountain range of Egypt. And Egypt, the highest mountain of Egypt is Catherine. Catherine is highest mountain of Egypt. Catherine is the highest mountain of Egypt, and as we know that Nile River is the longest river in the world, which is exist in Egypt, and which come across the Cairo, the capital of Egypt, and this is Nile Delta, and this is mouth of this is where from the Mediterranean Sea. This source of Nile river's water is Mediterranean Sea. You can see here, and it also passes through the Sudan and other countries of African continent. So here Libya is western part, and Sudan is southern part, and Mediterranean is northern part, and this is eastern part, which is making by Red Sea. And one of the very important thing is that this is Tropic of Cancer, which is passes through Egypt, Now one of the important thing which I wanted to discuss here is that this is Sinai Peninsula of Egypt, and this is Red Sea, and this is creating basically separating African continent and Asian continent. African continent and Asian continent is separated by Red Sea and Sinai Peninsula of Egypt. So this was all about the Egypt. Now if I should sum up within a second, is that Abdel Fattah el Sisi is will be the chief guest on the eve of Republic Day in India. That's why Egypt was in news. Western boundary making by Libya, in southern part of Egypt, or Egypt southern boundary of Egypt making by Sudan, and in northern part Mediterranean Sea, and Red Sea is making its maritime boundary in eastern part, and Suez Canal is connecting Mediterranean Sea and Red Sea, which is very important for trade route between Asia and European continent. So that was all about the Egypt.